Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here today. Welcome to Hello Crypto Kitty 2.0. I'm here with the one and only Bank of Eryka Gemma. Eryka, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You just came back from Freedom Fest. You're all cryptoed up.
Well, I feel like I'm freedomed up. Crypto is Freedom Fest actually needs more crypto in it. I'm going to suggest to the organizers that they have a separate room just for crypto people.
That's a great idea. So a lot of you disappeared on me. So first of all, you are head of the Bitcoin community in Miami. What is the name of your group or your center, Bitcoin Center?
Yeah, so I opened up a Bitcoin center back in 2018-19, and unfortunately we had to close because of coronavirus, but it was blockchaincenter.com was the official website. We actually still have a location in New York City. And it was kind of like, the city really was looking to have blockchain here for a while. And because I'd been throwing events in my spare time, it was just kind of a natural fit. So it was great because when we opened up the blockchain center / Bitcoin Center, the mayor of Miami came out. He did a ribbon cutting ceremony for us. During our time when we were open, we had a 6,000 square foot space right in downtown Miami. During the time we were open, we had all the different chambers of commerce, the Beacon Council, the Downtown Development Authority, all the different local government organizations came and they learned about Bitcoin. So I kind of think this is a real catalyst as to why Miami's so open to crypto now, is just because me and my community have been inviting them to events and getting them out there, getting them to understand the topic and know that it's not just magic internet money.
That's so amazing that you say that, because I think that's one of the biggest barriers to mainstream adoption, is that people don't understand it. We have all these politicians saying outlandish and misinformative things about crypto and Bitcoin. And it's clear that they haven't spoken to anyone in the Bitcoin or crypto community. It's clear that they don't really understand what they're talking about. Liz Warren was talking about how crypto is like criminal money and all this other stuff. And now she's changed her tune saying, oh, it's, helping the impoverished. So there's just massive amounts of misinformation out there. And so I think that's awesome you guys are doing it. And Florida and Miami is definitely becoming a huge hub for crypto and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I mean, even at the state, so I mean, at the local level, we have everybody's on board. Like I've gone myself to the fire departments and talking about cryptocurrency. And it's funny because most of them already know about it and they've invested in shitcoins in 2017. I remember one time I went over to the fire department and they literally like locked me in a room and they would not let me leave because I was helping them just move their money around, because you're right. The biggest barrier to really anything is education, but especially in a world like this where we haven't had an innovation in money for so long. But, that's just at the local level, but at the state level, you're seeing like, the government has created a fintech sandbox, meaning that people who apply to this fintech sandbox can operate in it and build crypto projects and not get in trouble regulatory wise because they're in the sandbox. And I think you see at a state level also, you're seeing like a blockchain task force be created. Now, unfortunately, coronavirus happened and the initiatives of that have been pushed to the bottom. But I think that you're seeing a state that understands that smart money wants to move here. And, myself, I'm part of this organization called the Florida Blockchain Business Association. And that is a statewide organization involving all the major cities in Florida. And we've come together, we've taken groups of people up to the Capitol in Florida and lobbied for bills to be passed, hit up every single one of our representatives, and these bills that we've lobbied for have passed unanimously. So I think that you're really going to see a force because the people here in Florida, they're willing to work with regulators and they understand that it's really just miseducation that holds people back.
That is what's holding people back. And I think also, like, you mentioned the fire department investing in a lot of shit coins. There are a lot of, because of the lack of regulation, there are a lot of startup coins, scam coins and things like that. And so I always advise all of my fans and watchers to hashtag do your own research because you never, you want to invest in, if you're not investing in Bitcoin, which is the gold standard, the internet money, that you want to do your research on alternative coins. And I'm not sure if you're a maximalist or not, but I do think that there is a case for some altcoins.
Yeah, no, I'm not a maximalist. I actually, when I teach people about cryptocurrencies, especially newbies, I only talk about Bitcoin because of that reason, because I don't want them to look into the other currencies just yet. Also, Bitcoin is the only one that's digital gold. It's the only one that's truly decentralized, the only one that has this economic
the deflationary. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Bitcoin really is the only one that is this hedge against deflation, right? But the other ones, I mean, they're speculative technology investments, and we should be looking at them. If the new world that we live on is going to be built on blockchain technology, we need things other than Bitcoin. And, you know, frankly, like I want BTC Bitcoin to focus on being sound money and nothing else. And so while you have all these applications, these tools for blockchain, like BTC Bitcoin developers should not be focusing on that. They should just be money. Yeah, so the maximalism, I like to rant about maximalism a little bit because so Bitcoin 2021 happened here in Miami. Right next to Bitcoin 2021, about a block away, was Shitcoin 2021. So funny. Annalise, who's actually at my house right now, was the one who, she's a very proponent for making sure that, you know, people don't get stuck or bullied into this ideology. So I did this talk at Shitcoin 2021, and it was called Group Therapy. I've been bullied by a Bitcoin maximalist. Because
that's so funny. And it's, I'm going to let you go on, but it's so funny because Bitcoin maximalists can get very, very intense online and very aggressive about their maximalism. And I think that toxic environment, and that toxic maximalism actually scares a lot of people from the Bitcoin and blockchain space. And I know I've had friends that were like, I was bullied, and I'm like, these people are mean and scary.
And you know what? The interesting part about that is like, you know, people are mean all the time, right? I don't expect more from people to be not mean or mean, but for these people are supposed to be libertarians. They're supposed to be anarcho-capitalists. They're supposed to believe in free speech. They're supposed to believe in intelligent discourse. And here they are just being straight up bullies. And this is where I have a problem. And this is kind of why sometimes I think that BTC Bitcoin, it's not technologically hacked, right? Like technologically it's sound, but socially, I think there's a little issue going on right here. Why is it that we are deterring people from building on technology, right? And that's the thing of Bitcoin toxic maximalism, is that you're deterring people from building. And some of these toxic maximalists, they really upset me. Like, for example, you know, I was in this girls group chat, this like all girls group chat of toxic maxis. And I mean, I consider myself a maximalist in a sense that like I've taught a lot of people about cryptocurrency, and unless you already know, like I'm only saying Bitcoin is digital gold. And I understand that there's a lot of scams out there, and that's their main goal, is to like deter from the scams. But I was in this group chat of all girls, and some of these women, like I've definitely supported, you know, got them speaking slots on stages that they would not have been invited to otherwise, found them very key people in the roles of their businesses, you know, liked their videos, shared their videos, like really like supported some of these women. And someone in the group chat, it's all girls, asked, what do you think about XRP? And I said, XRP is going to gain in price, and they're going to win their lawsuit against the SEC, because I'm well researched. Like it's not like I want it to happen, but it's going to happen. And I'm pretty much right already. And so I got kicked out of the group chat without an answer, without anything. And I was like, what is going on? I've probably onboarded more people into the cryptocurrency space in this entire group chat combined. And they have the audacity to kick me out without giving me an answer. And they're supposed to be people that love free speech. Like at least tell me like, this is what happened and this is why you got kicked out. So that kind of just like put me on this path to figure out like, what's going on with maximalists, the fact that these people are ideologically the same as me, but they're acting against and being hypocrites against the lessons they're trying to teach other people. And then another thing is I had a conference here in Miami, Miami Crypto Experience. We're having another one in October. And I did a block size debate, BTC versus BCH versus BSV. And I asked the best of the best to argue for BTC, and nobody would come out and do it. And they would always tell me, you know, it's a dead argument. All these different just like reasons why I know. Some of them honestly just could not make it. But I was like, I'll fly you out. I'll put you up in a hotel. Like, I just want someone to debate that's really legitimate on this, because I need to hear the discussion myself. And the fact that everybody was just so dismissive, I was like, okay, something's going on, because this is what I see happening between like the left and the right, right? One side will not even come to the to the stage to debate. And so when I see that, I'm like, all right, we got to figure something out. So yeah, I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's also one of the biggest deterrents to mainstream adoption because, you know, the average person might not know what it is, or maybe, you know, someone heard about crypto through Dogecoin, which I don't support Dogecoin. I think it's a meme coin. I don't invest in it, but maybe that's how they heard about it. And so by making someone feel like an idiot or dumb or stupid because they're investing in Dogecoin, definitely isn't the way to mainstream adoption.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is like, why use bullying, right? Bullying it's rules for radicals. It's a tactic that makes people not even question, and the discussion should always occur. So yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of maximalists. You can be a maximalist, totally cool with it, but toxic maximalism, I'm just like, you guys, I stay in BTC only and miss out, because some of them really upset me. It's like, you don't even know how to code, and you have the audacity to tell these people who spend 24 hours, like day and night, not sleeping, building interesting projects that are really going to disrupt society. And you have the audacity to tell them that their coin is shit, and you don't even know how to read what they're writing. So it's just such hypocrisy. So
it's
really
true. And we don't know what the
dies.
future brings with some of these altcoins. You know, you can't read the future, and you don't know what's being programmed and what can be created. I mean, there's coins that have a very strong use case, and it's yet to see.
Exactly. And why did we ever, when was it ever okay for people to stop and deter people from playing with technology? You know, technology really is the only way out of this system that we're living in. And, you know, technology can be used for good, and it can be used for evil, just like anything in the world. You know, a spoon can be used for good, and it can be used for evil. But why tell people who have good intentions and who have this mindset that we share in the crypto space, don't play? So yeah, I really hope the toxic maximalism dies. I don't mind maxis, but toxic maximalism, like, you're not better than anybody. Like, just stop, right? So.
Yeah. So you mentioned, you know, the revolutionary technology. Most of my fan base are people that are new to cryptocurrency and the Bitcoin space. So I just want to go into that, which is a little more basic than probably you're used to talking about. But a lot of people I talk to are like, what's wrong with the regular financial system? Obviously, we know about, I've talked to my listeners quite a bit about the problems with the central bank and things like that. And even something basic as sending, you know, a wire transfer. If you go to the bank and you send a wire transfer, you have to like validate it. It takes forever. It's like, it takes a day. Whereas crypto and Bitcoin, you can send it within a second. What are some of the other, again, knowing that some of my listeners are beginners, revolutionary things that crypto and Bitcoin are doing for DeFi and decentralized finance?
Yeah. So, definitely. This is a great question. So first thing, I know your listeners probably know about this, but I really want to explain it in this way, is that every single evil thing that's happened throughout the history of time has only been able to occur because counterfeit money has been present, right? So whether just, you name it, counterfeit money has been present, whether it's fake coins, little fake coins, like this little fake coin, right? Or it's, you know, fake dollar bills passed around. Or what's happening now is that, you know, we used to be on the gold standard. Yes. The reason why the entire world said that we were going to use the dollar as our base currency was because the dollar said we are going to be backed by gold. You can only print more dollars if you find more gold. And that's completely changed. We are no longer on the gold standard. Since 1913, we've slowly been declining. And so therefore, what is present is counterfeit money. While it may be widely accepted, it's still counterfeit. And so this is why you see these disgusting atrocities and these wealth differences available and able to occur, is because we have counterfeit money present. What Bitcoin does is it makes it so counterfeit money is impossible, because governments can't help it. People can't help it. Maybe initially the ethos is pure, but over time it gets corrupted and people start to do crooked things. And so, you know, even when we got off the gold standard, they said, we're going to go back on, and we never came back on.
That's never happened. Yeah.
It's never happened. We never even like reduced it. It was like, you know, 75% pegged to gold, and then 50, and now we're 0. So, what you see with Bitcoin is this pure system of money that cannot be corrupted. No government, no entity can just completely take it over and devalue our currency. So for one, I really see this better way of living that's being created. Now that's just BTC. But on the other side of things, like let's talk about financial technology, right? So one thing that happened here in Miami is FTX, the exchange from San Francisco, purchased the American Airlines Arena. They purchased the naming rights for it. So I think for the next like 18 years, it's going to be called the FTX Arena. This is huge for cryptocurrencies because this is a cryptocurrency exchange. Now, if you look at what happens in, let's say, the traditional world, settlement time when you exchange stocks is 3 days, right? So plus or minus 3 days is when your trade actually closes. Now we think about what blockchain does. Blockchain settles in real time. So there's even exchanges called T0, meaning T0, like it settles right away. Now, something that FTX has done is they use, and since you guys are new, I would definitely always do your own research, but Solana is a blockchain that they are using on the back end of FTX that settles these trades in real time. So we all know when the price of Bitcoin goes up or down, Binance, Coinbase, Gemini, like crypto.com, all the exchanges go down. They don't let you buy Bitcoin, right? When you're at the all-time highs or all-time lows, because they just can't handle the demand. FTX doesn't go down because their backend system is run on a blockchain. And so you just see these like the NASDAQ, the NYSE, they're going to have to change to this system just because it's much more efficient. So that's just backend technology, right?
So do you think all of the traditional finance is then going to go on blockchain technology? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think, it's either, it's like, if they don't, they're going to be forced to innovate, right? So it's going to be like Cash App offered Bitcoin to people. If you look at Q4 of 2018 or 19, 75% of Cash App's revenue came from offering Bitcoin. What happened? PayPal is now forced to offer Bitcoin, and not because they necessarily want to, but the competition is real.
Venmo is offering Bitcoin, I think now.
Yeah, see, there we go. They're forced to, exactly.
Venmo's offering Bitcoin now. I think I just saw a study from Fidelity, which is a traditional brokerage, that's saying that over 70% of their investors are interested in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency investing in the next 5 years. So I get really frustrated when I hear people say it's a scam, it's this, it's that. I'm like, well, some pretty major players are getting involved. So I don't quite think it's, it's still scam territory, but it's definitely going towards mainstream adoption. There's also, you mentioned inequality and poverty, and I think a lot of people are not aware. In the first world, we're very spoiled that over 1 billion people are unbanked, and so the crypto and Bitcoin is definitely going to revolutionize that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And just on the topic of Fidelity's been mining Bitcoin since 2015, I think, and I always recommend this to people, especially because I deal with a lot of institutions. Read in July of 2020, Fidelity put out Fidelity Bitcoin Investment Thesis. You can Google it, download it. I think it's about 17 pages. It's not long, maybe 9 pages. And it really details Fidelity's investment thesis for Bitcoin. I mean, Fidelity is also a custodian of Bitcoin, and they're one of the largest asset managers in the world. I think they have 41 trillion under management, 4.4 trillion under management. Yeah, and things like BNY Mellon, who have 41 trillion under management, they now custody Bitcoin, and they're the oldest bank in America. So for people to call this a scam, they're just totally misinformed, for sure. But I think, you're going to see some of these exchanges, they're forced to adapt. Like the other day, I'm teaching one of the biggest accounting firms in the United States about Bitcoin, very, very base level 101. And why? Because the market demands it. Everybody does see that the inflation is real. Like, our prices of goods are going up, and how can they hedge against that? Gold is great. Gold has always been around. But what if we have something that technology has provided that makes a better hedge against inflation?
And for those listeners who are still confused about inflation, the money is inflating because we're printing so much of it, and so that takes away your purchasing power. So if you make 30,000 a year, you really only make 20,000 a year, or whatever the amount the money is inflating at, excuse me.
Yeah, and the 2 ways I describe it to people is really easy, especially for people who have certain types of brains. But it's like a fraction, right? We'll make it easy numbers. You have 3 of 4. They've printed $4. You have 3 of them. You have a lot of purchasing power. You can buy 75% of what's in the economy. Now, let's say you have no control over that denominator. They make that 10. You now have 3 of 10. You can now only purchase. You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing happened. They just decided to print more money. And now you can only buy 3 of 10% of that economy. So this is why you need a system like Bitcoin, that runs on math, has a controlled inflation schedule that you can literally time down to the minute.
Yeah, and not just that, but like you said, there's so much evolution happening right now in the space. So it's very important, I think, for people to get educated. I have so many people like, oh, I heard about Dogecoin or I heard about this. And then they just like watch it go up and down. They're not doing the research. They're not learning about the basics of it. And it's something that a lot of people, I think, are intimidated by because they hear cryptography, crypto, like crypto what? And they're like, I'm not a programmer. I don't know anything about this. But like you said, the basics of it, it's very easy I always tell people to go on YouTube and watch the crypto kids videos. They're explaining crypto to little kindergartners and they get it. So it's not as complex, I think, as the average person. I think a lot of people are still scared by jargon, scared off by maximalists, scared off by a lot of programming language, and but the basic concepts of it are very easy to understand. Like you said, fractions, it's easy to understand on a very basic level.
Yeah. And what's nice about it is that you don't have to trust you don't have to trust me. You can go online, read the source code for yourself and verify that these things are occurring. It makes us in a trustless environment where we don't have to trust, we can verify. And that's also something that I love. If you can read software code, then go online and read it yourself. If you can't, find a friend who can read software code that you trust and have them read it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but what are
That was so fun.
What are you up to so that people can follow you online and learn more about you and learn about what you're doing? It sounds like you're very, very passionate about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and that's what we love here at Hello Crypto Kitty.
So I am opening up a Bitcoin venture fund right now. So looking into different interesting projects that support the ecosystem, deploying some capital into them. That's my main thing right now. I also am, I guess, doing a lot in the city of Miami, just trying to bring people here, continuing to raise awareness. I think the easiest way to find me, and I'm trying to figure out how to best capture this audience that I've not been doing well at capturing. But if you go to my website, Bank of Eryka, BankofEryka.com, and you subscribe to my mailing list, I'm going to start putting out upcoming events and also just my insights on certain things. I write for an offshore magazine. So if you're interested in reading my column and also learning about offshore structures, the best way to mitigate your, let's say, ability to travel around the world. You can also find that on my website. And then
you have a magazine as well about travel?
It's about international. It's called Escape Artist Insiders Magazine, and it's about international travel, just taking care and preserving your wealth.
Okay, awesome. Well, guys, check her out. I will have all of her links at the bottom added and also in the show notes description. Guys, remember, as always, hashtag not financial advice and hashtag Cypher Kitty. This has been Hello Crypto Kitty 2.0. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Rosie.